More about Salvador Dali, 1904 to 1989. He lived to be 85 years old. Critics called his work hallucinatory, subconscious surrealism, and his paintings were described as frozen nightmares. In 1934, he came to the United States. He was 30, and Gala, his wife, who had been formerly married to Paul Eluard, was 10 years a senior at 40. The woman who invented the brassiere had become quite wealthy and was a great supporter of Dali's paintings. She put on a fancy dress ball in his honor in 1935, and Dali wore a glass case on his chest and inside it containing a brassiere. However, Gala dressed as a woman giving birth through her head. In 1936, at a lecture in London, he gave a speech wearing a diving suit and helmet. He almost suffocated, and finally they took off the helmet, and he proclaimed he was diving deep into the human psyche. And in 1936, he was featured on the cover of Time magazine. Quite an honor. He proclaimed, "A woman with the head of a fish is impossible, but with the tail, possible." One of his fellow surrealists, Andre Breton, who basically was the starter and author of the Surrealist Manifesto, gave Dali a nickname of Avida Dollars, which meant he was very greedy for money. And that was the case. Dali and Gala did everything they possibly could to generate more and more money from their celebrity. He voiced a public support for the dictator Franco in Spain, which caused a lot of stir amongst the surrealists. It caused Picasso to never mention his name again. He was an exceptionally eccentric individual, probably mostly because he had a very active imagination, and he really was an incredible draftsman in terms of his ability to handle paint. His paintings were well received, and he sold quite a few of them. He liked rhinoceros horn imagery because it grows in a logarithmic spiral, some sort of mathematical functioning which affected his thinking about painting. Before he died, it's rumored, he signed 50,000 blank pages of lithography paper. Blank. These were to be 4 prints made after his demise. Quite a number of them were seized in a shipment between Spain and France before he passed on, and therefore it was revealed that these were signed blank pages for forgeries. Gala died. She was 10 years a senior. And in the last few years of his life, he developed probably Parkinson's disease and had a great tremor in one of his arms. He lived in a magnificent place, and he had an unusual habit of holding his keys while sitting in a chair And then on the floor was a big brass bowl. And as he drifted off in sleep, his hand would relax, the keys would drop, making a banging noise into the brass bowl. He would wake up and he would remember his dream. He claimed that was his paranoid critical method of coming up with some of the ideas for his paintings. He was also involved in a fire and got severely burned, but he survived, and it was eventually concluded that it was an electrical problem in the place he was living, and it wasn't anything intentional or suicidal. He finally passed on of heart failure at 85 and is known as one of the most creative artists to ever live. Thank you for watching this Naked Artist Exposure video. I'm Preston McCall, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons. We appreciate it, and we'll continue making more of these. Thank you. More about Salvador Dali, 1904.